I'm gonna miss being part of like such a great group of people, and then I'm gonna miss like playing with you guys and being with you every day. Like it's just like a big part of like everyday life.
My favorite Mr. Green quote is, so I remember when we came here as 8th graders to play with the high school orchestra, he would help us play with these very unique phrases of his, and one of them I remember most is Mountain Dew, help us play.
My favorite orchestra memory was when we went on a field trip to San Francisco, and during this field trip, there was a kid in our group, because we always had the buddy system going around. There was a kid in our group who had never gone on a roller coaster before. His name was like Luke Wicked. I can't remember his last name. And it was so fun because I just remember laughing how nervous he was at first to go on. The thing was, we went on the scariest ride, but after he got off, he just kept on running around, almost like a madman, going to every single other ride, and he says, no, we can't stop, we're going to every ride. And that was fun.
My favorite orchestra memory was probably when we went to EIU, even though it was in Mattoon, Illinois, and the hotel was not the best. I don't know, it was just like, I think it was the first night, they took us to the basement of like the student union. There's a bowling alley there, and it was like, cool, you get to go bowling in Mattoon.
One time, I was walking in to the orchestra room, and I had my violin and my backpack, and I actually had my violin, like, on my back, too. So, like, I was, like, doubled up, like, so much stuff. And I opened the door, barely, because my hands are full, and I try and squeeze in, but the door shut on me, and so I got stuck in the door. And Mr. Green comes out, and he just starts laughing at me, and he just made fun of me the rest of the day, because he saw me get stuck in the door, but he did help me get out. So that's my favorite Mr. Green memory, I guess.
Okay, what's your favorite Mr. Green quote?
I don't know, there's so many. He comes up with some weird things. Like he can make, like, having the weight of a bow, like, imagine having, like, an elephant with a truck on top of it, and then, like, it's like an obese elephant, too. That's important. And I don't know, he said something like that, and then I remember the next day he asked us, do you remember what I said yesterday? And then we're all just like, you say a lot of things, Mr. Green.
For my favorite memory, there were definitely a lot of things to choose from, but I'd have to say the EIU trip, because of, well, honestly, number one, we were playing with a professional orchestra and it was really fun, and the recordings we received were really good, and I remember that when my parents got them, they at first were like, oh wow, so this was the professional orchestra playing with you? And I said, well, actually, with these last couple pieces, we were kind of playing them pretty much alone. And they said, essentially, wow.
On the San Francisco trip, we were in these hotels, or just one hotel, you know, and we happened to get 2 rooms right next to each other. And sometimes in hotels, rooms are connected by doors. And so in one room, it was me, Melanie, and Liz. And in the other, it was Teo and Anna and Ashley and Marina. And one day, when Mr. Green came to check us all in, I don't think he realized that there was a door between the rooms. And he came to our room first, and I opened the door. I was like, hey, we're all here. And he was like, okay, solid. I closed the door. And then I opened the door to the other room, ran in, and when he knocked on that door, I opened the door. I was like, hey, what's up? And he got really confused. He, like, looked at his notes, like, am I at the right room? And was like, already here? And that confusion it was beautiful.
Well, I really liked all, like, our field trips and stuff, like, to the CSO and then also the Europe trip 2 years back. It was just fun to, like, hang out with the orchestra members, and then, I don't know, like, it's just more casual. It's like a casual field trip instead of just, like, I don't know, it's not academic. And it was just nice to hang out with like Mr. Green and all the other orchestra members.
I'll miss having a teacher like Mr. Green, I think, because his passion is so obvious for what he does, and I can't say I've seen that with all of my teachers at North, but with Mr. Green it's just so obvious, and he makes you want to practice, and he makes you love music even if you aren't the most skilled player. So I definitely thank him for all he's done for this program and for me personally. So yeah.
So freshman year, actually Mr. Green was my soccer coach, and at practice one day, he took out my violin and started like playing like during practice, and, like while we were stretching and stuff, and I thought that was pretty awesome.
I think that I really liked the moments in class where Mr. Green was just being goofy. So one time he was going in to get surgery done on his shoulder because he really messed it up, and in class he's just talking about how, yeah, I'm gonna go in tomorrow and they're gonna, cut into my arm, and then I'm just gonna come back and conduct a concert on medication and all loopy. So it could go well, it could not. So either way.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite orchestra memories would have to be the Renaissance Music Festival my sophomore year. It was so different than anything I had ever done before. My friends and I were dressed in these crazy costumes. The tights were way too tight and too colorful, and the dresses had some pretty extreme shoulder pads. But we had so much fun. The music was fantastic, and the company was even better. I'll always remember this performance.
My favorite Mr. Green quote is one time he was gonna start conducting the piece, and he said 1, 2, 3, 4. That was hilarious. I laughed about it for days.
So my favorite orchestra memory is probably when we were in San Francisco and I was in a room with Melanie and Hannah, and we went grocery shopping the night before to get breakfast, and I decided I really wanted the Easy Mac, so I bought like a 6-pack of Easy Mac because I figured we had a microwave in our hotel room, and then we got back to figure out we only had a coffee maker, so we tried to make like coffee maker Easy Mac, and it actually worked out surprisingly well, but it was really messy. Like the first one, we like splashed cheese everywhere, and I don't recommend ever trying to make a microwave what's the word? Coffee maker Easy Mac. I can't do words.
My favorite orchestra memory has to be the days of final exams. The fact that the questions were easy, and as well as the fact that he practically gave the answers for lots of them. It's mainly one of the most standout days to me.
My favorite orchestra memory was probably when we went to Chicago for the Chicago Symphony Orchestra practice, and then we all got to like walk around and eat and have fun, and people were sleeping left and right, but it was funny. It was a good memory, and we had a lot of fun.
My favorite orchestra memory was freshman year, when in the first concert, and Mr. Green walks out onto the stage, and he breaks the cello, and we had no idea what was happening. We thought it was a real cello, but that was really funny.
Well, my favorite orchestra memory was when we were on the San Francisco trip last year, and we had just had our competition, and we found out that we'd gotten second gold, so we were all really proud of the orchestra. And me and this girl, Christine Wang, who graduated last year, decided that we wanted to have an ice cream party to celebrate. So we went back to the hotel. There was this grocery store across the street. We bought 3 gallons of ice cream. And we come back. We invited everyone into my room. Somehow it ended up being in Anna Taylor's room, though. I don't know exactly how. And it was really fun. We all just sat around and talked. But that was really kind of a good bonding moment. Afterwards, though, we bought way too much ice cream, so we had an extra gallon of ice cream. And we were like, what do we do with this? We don't want to eat it, it's all melted. When we were like, well, we could throw it away, but then it's going to make the room smell. We could put it in the garbage in the hallway, but then that's going to make the hotel stink. They're going to get mad at us. So we were trying to figure it out, and I went, well, we have a toilet. So me sitting in a hotel in San Francisco, straddling a toilet, flushing a gallon of ice cream down the toilet with Anna like standing there laughing, and there were a few other people, I forget who. That was probably the highest point in my orchestra career, as well as my life in general.
My favorite orchestra memory was definitely either meeting Lily and becoming best friends, or deciding that Mr. Green looks just like Lemongrab and acts like Lemongrab too.
Favorite Mr. Green quote? It would have to be baby chokehold. Whenever he tells someone to hold their violin, the baby chokehold.
My favorite orchestra memory has to be the trip down to Eastern Illinois University when nothing went as planned and we ended up getting breakfast at Steak and Shake, running across like the side of a highway, and nobody really got food because it was Steak and Shake at 9 a.m. And then we were expected to use that and go all day long and play music, so it was really fun.
My favorite orchestra memory is when we went to the San Francisco trip 2 years ago. So last year. We went to San Francisco and we were playing for this competition, and I remember everything. We'd been practicing for a while, but everything came together in this little tiny side room off of the hotel lobby, and it was really hot and humid, and we'd been practicing for a really long time. And that's when we practiced for maybe 3 hours at a time. And everything started sounding beautiful then. And when we came out of the hotel, we were all kind of sweating. And then there were people in the hotel who were saying, "Congratulations! You don't suck! That's pretty cool. Good for you."
What I'm going to miss most about orchestra next year is definitely Mr. Green and the enthusiasm that he brings to the class every day. You know, it's really unique how energetic he is and how passionate he is about what he does. And that really comes across every day on the podium.
Every day of attendance, I have a new, different version of the same name. So, like, some days it's Yashka, some days it's Yosha, some days it's Yoshika. Mr. Green always has a clever new name.
Alright, I remember freshman year when we first came in, Mr. Green was introducing himself, and before he said his name was Dana, he said, hold up, alright guys. In the 1980s, Dana was a very manly name, okay? And then we just all died, because, like, I didn't know his name was Dana. Mr. Green, don't take any offense. I love your name, okay? I love it. Just saying.